Welcome to day 2 of our sew along. So what we should have is our bodies and our arms already finished, and I pressed mine. As well, today you're going to need your joints. So these guys, this is a joint set, and let's see if I have a tape measure. This little guy here is let's use centimeters. He's 35 centimeters, and that's how you measure your joint. So your 2 arm joints should be 35 centimeters. It'll come with a joint with the post, a flat washer, and a locking washer. You're also going to need a pencil, an awl, so I use this awl, a needle that's threaded double and a little knot at the end. You'll see that one there. A chopstick, thread, and some scissors. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to teach you how to install the arm joint. So you're going to take one of your arms, the upper arm here, and you're going to take one of your joint posts. You're going to place the joint post against the skin so that it's fitting right in there, slightly from the edge. I push it really hard, and actually I turn it a bit, and by doing that it leaves a little dent, you can see, and I'll mark where the center of my joint is going to go. I'm going to do the same thing on the other arm, but making sure that it's going to be the opposite side. So using my joint, I'm going to push and turn, which isn't in the tutorial, but it's a great tip, and mark the center. So what we're going to do at this point is you'll open up your arm and take an awl. If you don't have it all, you can use a seam ripper. Just use it very carefully, because you want to poke through the skin fabric. You don't want to necessarily rip it. You'll slide your awl in and come out at that little mark we just made, that's a fluff. Okay, and I like to do that 2 or 3 times, just to make sure that I'm going to be able to fit my chopstick through. So you can see there's a little hole there. I'm now going to take my chopstick and go through where I poked the hole, so I had to use a little pressure there. And I'm going to go through all the way through. This chopstick is exactly the right size for these posts. It's very similar in size. And at that point, you'll slide your post in and bring it out where you poked that hole. Kind of straighten your skin out. There we go. So you have your arm post in. Then you're going to take your thread and your needle, and you're just going to do a little running stitch just around that post. Just to make sure that the fabric doesn't fray at all. It's a really important step. A lot of people might be tempted to skip it, but this will prevent the fabric from ever letting loose and having the joint pull right out, especially if you have kids like mine who like to carry the doll by their arm. It doesn't have to be a fancy stitch. I'm just going around. I'm not sure if this is a running stitch or a back stitch. I'm sure somebody else knows better than I. All that matters is that the fabric is not going to fray. Once you made it back to the front, or to where you started, which I'm almost there, you'll tie it off, and you will repeat on the opposite side. So I'm at the start, and I am going to tie that off and just snip it close. And there. So that joint is nicely secure. It's not going anywhere. I'm going to repeat that with the other arm, and then I'm going to come back and show you how we attach it to the body.